If you want to get ahead of 99% of software engineers, it's pretty straightforward and only takes a few minutes a day. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly what you need to do every single day to go from average to a top 1% software engineer in Silicon Valley. My name is Scott. I didn't study computer science, and my goal was to be a software engineer in Silicon Valley's best tech companies. So I busted my ass teaching myself computer science and wound up working for companies like GitLab, Autodesk, AppSumo, and others as a senior software engineer. Now, regardless of what you're doing, software engineering or another skill, if you want to be average, look at what average people are doing. If you want to be great, look at what the top 1% are doing. I said in the video, being better than 99% of software engineers is straightforward. But I didn't say it was easy, and it takes discipline, day in and day out. But to be totally honest with you, it only takes a couple minutes a day doing the right things. But just like the compound interest principle and the Pareto principle of 80-20, doing the right things every day over a long period of time will get you extraordinary results. But the common denominator of everything is about you taking action today. When I was first starting out in my career, after studying business and wanting to get a job in Silicon Valley's best companies, all I did was promise myself that I'm going to take action every single day and figure it out from there. Now, you're probably asking yourselves, well, what action do I take? Now, I can't tell you what action you should take because I don't know your situation, but I can give you some ideas on what things I did to take action that resulted in getting a job in Silicon Valley, working at the tech companies that I wanted to. First, sending cold DMs to founders and other software engineers to network. Next was realizing that I needed more experience faster. So I started contributing to open source projects like ESLint, Enzyme, Node.js, working for free just to get experience and mentorship. At this point in your career, skill development is way more important than getting paid. And getting mentorship from the right people will pay dividends in the future. Paying for people's time to ask questions. I met a mentor of mine in an open source community because he's one of the biggest open source contributors, and I offered to pay for dinner just to sit and ask him a few questions. It's okay to pay people for their time. They respect it, and you'll get access to more people that way. Another thing I did when I was bored was just read through open source issues. I'd learn how to communicate asynchronously, but also I could see maybe I could solve that problem, or I'd learn something new from an issue that was on a big open source project that I'd never seen before. Through my open source endeavors, if I came across code that I didn't know what it did or I didn't understand the syntax, I would research the syntax, understand why someone would use it, and then I would go into my own sandbox and use it until I understood why that person made that decision. And finally, kind of after my career got started and I had the skills, I built my own software business that got to 1,000 monthly active users. I wanted the experience of being an entrepreneur and starting my own business. So I found a problem I wanted to solve. I used code to build it and solve it. And it was relatively successful in terms of the exercise to getting users to use my product and make some money. Now, you can spend 1 minute, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 30 minutes or more every single day. But all that matters is that you're deciding intentionally to take a little bit of action towards your goal every day, regardless if you feel like it or not. I call this concept do more better. Alex Hormozi talks about this. If you're not doing anything, do more. If you're doing something and you need better results, do more and better. So to recap, if you want to get ahead of 99% of software engineers and be in that top 1%, it starts with structuring your day so that you make time for the most important high leverage things that you can do. Once you've identified those high leverage things and you've set aside time, execute on that thing consistently over a long period of time. And finally, do not give up. If you've been doing this for a little while and you're not seeing the results that you want to see, either you're not doing enough and you haven't given it enough time, or you're doing the wrong thing. An example of that is a lot of people talk to me and say, I've applied to 1,000 jobs over the last year. Well, then I ask, how have you been applying? They say they're just submitting their resume online. Well, you've given it a year and you haven't gotten more than 3 interviews. Obviously, you're doing something wrong. So you need to have that introspective mindset of, okay, I need to change what I'm doing to get better results. So each experiment, give it a month of serious effort going every day, analyze and adjust. Don't just keep doing the same thing over and over again and yielding the same disappointing results. Again, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, check out the last video I did last week on how to get experience without experience as a software engineer in 2024, where I break down exactly how you build the knowledge gap between where you're at and getting more experience as a software engineer so that you can get more interviews and more job opportunities.